do
You
your
check it out.
proper due diligence.
Diligence.
Okay. And if it's not you, it's your incense burning manager
Yeah.
because
Just
they're
check
the
it out.
ones that are deciding whether or not you're going to get the table.
So how did your weekend go with the
Oh, okay. Yeah.
can I just make an observation? Um, I felt that what you said, you sent me a message saying I took $600 less than I've done before. It was
Yeah.
almost a negative.
It was in a way, and I'll tell you why.
But
Okay.
can I just say,
Yeah.
you could have said I took $1,000, which is a little bit less than before, but it was really good, rather than I took 600
Well,
less
but
than
again, I'll give
before.
you an example of why.
Okay. It just felt a little bit negative rather
It was a
than
little bit negative, and I'll tell you why. There's a few reasons why I was a little
go
bit
for it.
negative. Okay, so the first reason I was negative was number one, we're talking already about it, that I keep putting this pressure on me.
Hmm.
The pressure is, okay, if I at least make this much money, that gives me a bit of respite. Okay. So that's the
Yeah.
one thing of it. And if I didn't, I'll give you an example. If I had the day job and I went to that thing, I wouldn't have cared. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd actually put the pressure on yourself. I
100%.
need this much. I need this
I
much.
put the pressure
Yeah.
on myself. This is where I'm saying about trying to control so much
Yeah.
stuff, okay? But
Yeah.
I'll also tell you that so first of all, I know why I did make a little bit less than I normally make, and that's
Okay.
because it was the number one, it's July time frame. And in
Yeah.
this country on July time frame, most people go on vacation on
Holiday.
July. So they actually leave, a lot of people leave the city. Why do they leave the
Yeah.
city? They go to the country, they,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, go wherever
Mm.
and they're not really in the city. And on the first day, it was a perfect day for that because the temperature was relatively nice, like it wasn't
Yeah.
overkill. And but that meant that there was hardly anybody in the store itself
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And I did
because
think
nobody
that.
was really in there to shop around or
Yeah.
whatever. And in fact, I even noticed there was less vendors than they usually have in there. So there
Yes.
was three tables where normally they would have those people and they
Yeah.
didn't show up. And I knew that was going to be the case because about 3 days before the thing, they sent out
Oh,
another email saying, last minute, if you want to be a vendor, so I thought, oh, they haven't sold out. And that's rare
yeah.
for them because they usually have
Okay.
so many people that want to be there.
Have you been in July before?
I had been in July 1 year before, and it was definitely a little slower because of the
Quieter.
fact that people are not
Yeah.
in town, but not
Yeah.
like this. This was
Okay.
much slower than
All
it
right.
had normally been. Okay. But then on the second day, the temperature was like 34 degrees outside. So whoever was in town came into the store because they wanted the
Yeah.
air
The
conditioning.
cool.
So it was really quite busy in there, but yet still I didn't have as many clients as I normally get. Okay. So
Fair
at the
enough.
end of the day, I did make a little bit less, but I am not in, I don't, I'm trying, I said to myself, listen, I made some good money. Let me be grateful for that good money. And I feel good that I made that money and
Yeah.
whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you the other thing is a bit of a downer there. Okay. So, you know how I told you things have been happening there a little bit?
Hmm.
Like they chased away a woman
Yes. And
that the
he was
manage
doing his incense stuff and
yeah,
all
well,
that.
that was another thing. That's the second thing because the last time I was there, the guy even that woman they chased away was like 2 times ago. Then the last time I was there, the manager came by my thing and he like was putting the incense in the middle of my reading, and I was like kind of like he
Not
just comes and
polite.
like does it like in the middle, like as if, okay. And I was like, okay, whatever. Like I just zip it,
Yeah.
let it go, right? Well, this time around,
Hmm.
before I got there, They sent out an email. And I will be honest with you, it made me a little bit, I want to say a little bit livid in a way, because it was like putting the onus on us, the people that work there, as opposed to saying, maybe this is more about you guys, the ownership of this place,
Mm.
than it is about us. They sent
Yeah.
an email and they were trying to say, listen, if you are somebody who does intuitive readings or something, you should always try and give the customer a good experience. Don't tell them things like, oh, they're going to die, or that this thing can't be done, or don't tell them things. So they were trying to tell us basically how to be professional.
Yeah. That's crazy because you will say what you need to say, but also you know how to temper it.
Well, so here was my take on this. When you ask me to be a vendor
Mm.
and you say, would you be interested in this thing?
Yes.
You also ask me for all my information, not just who I am. You ask for,
Of
give
what I do.
me testimonials, give me, your if you have any links so I give them a link to my website where all my testimonials are. Okay.
Yeah.
I would assume you, as an owner, do
You
your
check it out.
proper due diligence.
Diligence.
Okay. And if it's not you, it's your incense burning manager,
Yeah. They
because
check
they're the
it out.
ones that are deciding whether or not you're going to get the table.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're supposed to do your due diligence to determine whether you think that person is a professional or not a professional. And there's
Mm.
ways to do that, i.e., the testimonials.
Yeah. Yeah. And check up on
Okay.
your
Or
website.
other means, especially if I can give you a link to my
Yeah.
YouTube channel, you could go listen and hear if I'm the kind of person that's saying, oh, I'm an evil witch and la la la, and you're gonna die, or you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I found it kind of weird, right? That, I think you get the gist of how I speak
Mm.
in multiple ways. And if it's not from really listening to me on my YouTube channel, you can get that from my testimonials, like clearly.
Been to them, what, 4 times now? This is your fourth
Yeah,
time?
I think about five maybe times or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
So surely they've got a feel of what you do. And if a customer wasn't happy, they would have said something,
Well,
surely.
okay. So again, here's my take on this. Let's say somebody's had a bad experience
Yeah.
and they've complained. So you say to yourself, you say to the customer, can you please tell me which vendor it was?
Yeah.
And you go and you speak to that vendor directly and you
Mm.
make sure that vendor does never comes there again. It doesn't
Or
mean
the
that you
vendor.
send out an email to all of your vendors, okay, to do that, right? So I was like, okay, this is interesting.
Mm.
So so you see, I have these vibes already from there. Like now you can see it's
Yeah.
not, you know, first of all, with that woman, I thought that was one thing, but you could always write that off of as, well, maybe she is
Six of
part
them
of
and
the
after.
problem. It's maybe a
Yeah.
50-50 thing and they just don't vibe well together.
Yeah.
Then I had the experience with him coming across my table, but I just said, okay, I can see now, understand why she went off. But it's not going to make or break me because I can deal with it. And then now I see this thing and I'm like, okay, there's definitely some stuff
Something wrong.
here that's special, right?
It's crazy.
Now the problem is they're the only game in town. It just kind of shows me like if that came from the owners, I mean, the owners are just taking the word of maybe, the management, and maybe don't realize that management is part of the problem,
Yeah.
right? Because, it is, if I have a business and my manager is responsible for ensuring that due diligence is done, so that all the proper vendors have been vetted properly before they come there, then
Yeah.
there should be no worries that I'm going to have complaints unless there some extraordinary event happens or,
Yeah.
you really get a very difficult client, which can happen. Okay. But I know this also because I was in the services game for
Mm.
30 years in IT.
Yeah.
You speak to customers every day, and these are
Yeah.
customers that have millions, not like, $50.
Yeah.
So a client is a client, whether it's a
Yeah.
small client or a large client, but you understand the concept of services and
Mm.
how to speak to customers so you don't tick them off or whatever, how to
Yeah.
deal with them, right? You
So,
also
like you just,
learn how to deal with
yeah.
your vendors.
Yeah.
I.e., when I was in the services, I also had to deal with other vendors that
Yeah.
worked with
Yeah.
us to service that client. Right?
Yeah. But
So
not everybody has had the experience that you've had. And
I
if you
get
actually,
that. And
there's some people that are going along who might have just picked up a pack of tarot cards and go, oh, this, let's have a go at this. You know, they,
and I get that. But then this is why I'm saying if that is the case, and that's the person you chose, who chose them? Your management probably is
Mm.
in charge of saying, because my feeling is, and usually my feelings are dead on because, my gut, my feeling says it's the manager that does all the communication for them, i.e.,
Mm.
i.e., hi, we've got 20 tables. And if you only have 20 tables, because it's a small place, this is not
Yeah.
like a hotel. This is not
Yeah.
like, okay, it's a small place. They have 20 tables, and I'm sure they have like 150 vendors. So it's for
Okay.
them to decide which and which and which and which and which.
And what are the other things do? Because they're not all doing tarot, obviously.
No, they do different things. And this is what I'm saying. So what I think they do sometimes is they'll say, I won't have five tarot readers. We'll pick
Yes.
two tarot readers, and then we'll put these other things here. And then the
Yeah.
next time they do it, they pick two different tarot readers to
Yeah.
try to be a bit fair, to ensure it isn't always the same people all the time and all the time. Except I have to say, there is one vendor that is there every time I am there. And I've
Okay.
spoken to another vendor who has been there when I haven't been there. And that person has confirmed to me that that woman
One
is
is there.
always there too. So she is always considered,
What does she do?
she reads too.
Oh,
She's
she's
a
a
tarot
tarot
reader
reader.
too. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So
Okay.
she's got a permanent spot.
She's got like a permanent spot there. So I
Oh.
kind of figure this is like a friend of the owner or she knows somebody or what, and that's fine. I'm not saying anything about that.
Mm.
Okay. But like I said, let's go back to who's in charge here. If it's my business and I tell my manager, this is your job to choose which people, and all I'm giving you as
Mm.
instruction is, make sure it isn't the same people all the time because we want to try and be
Yeah.
as fair as possible.
Yeah.
Okay. But
Yeah.
go pick the vendors based on here's the information that you're going to want from them. I'm sure somebody must have told that to the manager. I don't think the
Yeah.
manager came up with the criteria out of his 20-year-old brain because he's 20.
No. Do they ask if you're insured?
No, no, they don't.
And yet, if there's people doing other things, they need, are there people doing sort of like reflexology or whatever?
Yes, there was actually this time around, there was a guy who did reflexology, massage
Yeah.
and reflexology.
Yeah. They need to be insured
Yeah,
to do
but
that.
again, I guess they say they're not responsible for the people in the room.
But
It-
they
it-
are, in terms of they're not going to want their insurance compromised. You know, if you're not insured and somebody wants to sue you, the next person to sue is the owner of the venue.
well, this is what I'm saying. Like, this is where I'm saying I almost feel like
They're not that.
this isn't somebody's one and only business who is
Mm,
the owner of this. This
mm,
is somebody who probably has a great deal of money maybe their partner, their wife, their whatever has this desire to do this thing. Okay, honey, go start this thing, whatever, go do that on the side. You know what I mean? It's not like their main, I feel
So
like
it's a
it's almost
shop,
like they're not their main business.
right? So it's a shop otherwise. So it's always open as
It's
a
a
shop.
shop otherwise, and it's always open, but they don't
As
do all these fair things until whatever.
they
So,
do them
I mean,
like
you
three
could
times.
go to that shop and just buy, they have all kinds of stones and things in there and
Right.
little doodads
Yes.
and whatever around the walls of the shop. But I feel like also too that the I noticed that they're having a tough time selling their stuff in their
Yeah.
shop. That's another thing I noticed because I've seen more ads from them of, oh, come, 20% off our stuff, like the
Oh.
doodad days that they, now I'm going to tell you, they probably have millions in stones and stuff in there. I mean, these geode things, that are like, 4 feet tall, these formations of like, these amethyst big geode
Oh
things.
yes.
Okay.
Where,
But
yeah,
ones
okay,
that
got you.
stand up on the floor like
Wow.
they've got like a tons of those in there. Those things
They're
they sell
valuable.
for thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then they've got millions upon millions of stones of every type in like little baskets. I mean, there's quite an investment in that
Mm.
place there.
Yeah.
Okay. Lots of investment. This is why I say to myself, this is not like the one and only business because I've
Mm.
never seen them advertise for it before. But now that they're sitting there and probably making zero money from it, I feel like all of a sudden it's like, okay, let's put some effort into it or we're going to get rid of it kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like there's lots going on there behind the scenes, you know what I mean?
Is
And
that
I probably make about, let's say, between 13 or 1400.
that's still a fair amount. It's enough. It's
And it's nothing to say no. That's why I said, you know what? I'm very
yeah.
grateful. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. So you see this one?
Oh yes, yes.
Okay. So this is five
$845
Canadian dollars. This is probably about as large as my hand.
hand.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh my
That's about a
God.
hand size.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, it says here the size 145 by 103 by 108 millimeters.
Millimeters.
Yeah,
So 14 centimeters by 10 centimeters.
yeah. So that's small.
Wow. That is small because 10 centimeters is about that much. So
Well, this
14,
this is what I'm saying. Is this maybe
I
hand
think,
size?
yeah, it is.
Okay, it's
Wow.
maybe hand size. Let's sake of argument, hand size. And you see that now. I don't know how much somebody would have paid for that because let's not forget the price that you put is to somebody else. So you're making a profit on it.
That's the sale price. So maybe
Right.
half that
Now, these
price then.
people have ones that are like 5 foot tall or,
Oh,
like huge, huge. And then they've got like, I'm going to say hundreds of these around and they're all different kinds. They're not just, amethyst, but I mean, these people really have tons of money of it invested in there.
mm.
Okay.
That's
I've
going to
got
be more
I've
over.
bought in there three of my own pieces in there.
Yes. I mean, that's over 20 times the size of that one, what you've just
Yeah,
described, isn't
and
it?
I mean I've spent a couple $100 in there easy for those ones. Okay.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
see this one? This one's quite large too.
Yes. Oh,
This is
16.
16 inches.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's just see that one's 425 US.
Oh,
US.
right.
So that's like over 5 Canadian.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. But you see what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's 16 inches. So, it's not quite
Wow.
2 feet. They have ones that are like 5 foot tall. That's thousands upon thousands. Okay.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So interesting, like I said, I feel like they
They don't really know what they're doing.
I feel
is
like,
sort of what it feels
again, I
like.
don't know if they don't know because A, they don't care because it's not like their primary business. It's not how they make their life. It's like, I almost feel like it's like this. My husband and I worked for 25 years and, he made millions and, I made like hundreds of thousands and okay, now I need a hobby because I'm not working anymore. And my husband says, sure, go ahead, start a little business because he doesn't care. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's all cream money. This is what I call
Yeah.
cream money.
To be fair, this is your assumption that this is the
It
case.
is my assumption, but you know me with
Oh yeah, intuitive,
my
intuition.
intuitive abilities, okay? And
Yeah.
I learn more and more to listen to my intuitive abilities.
Fair enough.
Let
No,
me
that
give you
makes
an
sense.
example.
Yeah. Go on.
I was in a reading with a beautiful woman. She
Yes.
had her baby boy with her on her lap while she was in the reading. And she asked me, do you think I'm going to go back to work? I don't know if I should go back to work or not. And I said to her, and again, just stuff comes to me. I don't know why I say what I say.
Yes,
Okay.
I understand exactly what you're saying.
And I said, I feel like you not gonna go back full time right now. I said, I feel like you're gonna do, I don't know, I feel it's like 1 day a week.
Mm,
And you could be just doing something like I don't know, you're sitting, it's something you could do at home 1 day a week, so you don't need to be away from your son, but you're still making money. But I feel like you're sitting at home 1 day a week and this kind of like, doing something like, I don't know, doing somebody's books for them or something.
yeah.
And she looks at me and she smiles and she goes, I'm an accountant. Okay. Now I could have said anything, Susan. Do
Anything.
you see what I'm saying? That the
Yeah.
words just that what comes into my mouth,
Yeah.
into my head,
Oh,
and they
yeah.
force out of my, it's like they force it out of my mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Because it's not like I think it and then I say to myself, should I say that? Yes. No, it just like it comes like
Right.
forced
Mm,
out of me. And I
mm,
don't know why. And I could have said, anything. I could have said, you know what? Yeah, you're going to work 2 or 3 days a week, and maybe, you just go work at McDonald's or, I just,
yeah.
what the
Yeah.
words came to me said, I see you doing somebody's books. I see you
Yeah.
with some books. I had a flash. I saw some books and I heard them say 1 day a week, do the books. So
Mm.
I said it. And she goes, yes, I'm an
And,
accountant.
and maybe that is something that she's now going to go ahead and do because you said it, if that makes sense.
Exactly. And okay,
Whether it was in her mind before or
right.
not, or whether
Okay.
she,
Yeah.
whether she was picturing going back to work, going to the office, whereas what you said is doable.
Okay.
But
Now, the interesting thing is, why did I tell you that story? Because we were saying, why do I assume these things
that
about
that's
that
true.
place?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't assume it. I
Mm,
I am getting these downloads about this place. I am
right.
getting the downloads about this place. Who
Mm,
is the real cause of the issues that there have been so far?
yeah.
And how that is working, i.e., there is a disconnect between the ownership and the, you know what I
And the
mean, like,
management.
and the
Yeah.
management. And it's because it's almost like they don't care.
So they don't pay somebody much to manage it.